Alright, so what I want you to do here is imagine for a second that I uploaded a video with the title Prince of Wales Murdered. And then you clicked on that video, and this is what played. Alright, listen up everybody. I just woke up, but there's big news. The Prince of Wales murdered 2 deer while hunting. Also, while you're here, buy these liver pills. Follow the link in the description. They'll cure your constipation. That would be a pretty ridiculous example of YouTube clickbait, right? But check this out. That little scenario that I just outlined for you there is pretty much an exact modern recreation of a 100% real newspaper advertisement from 1900. Take a look at this. Prince of Wales murdered. 50 partridges while hunting, but more than double that number of people are killed daily by impure drugs. So buy X-ray liver tablets and cure your chronic constipation. See, although clickbait is a modern word, the basic concept has been around forever. All throughout the pages of history, you can find journalists or businesses using misleading and sensationalist marketing to try and draw in prospective customers. And so today, I want to show you a few of my favorite examples. Welcome to the world of historic clickbait. All right, let's get started with one of the strangest newspaper advertisements that you'll ever see. Let's say that you're a woman flipping through an issue of the Atlanta Journal back in May of 1930, when you notice a very strange looking picture in the corner of the page. There's a young woman there laying in bed looking real sick with a big bolded caption that reads, "Women are especially susceptible, doctors say." So you might see that and think, well, golly, I better keep reading and figure out what this mystery illness is. So your eyes continue to drift downward and you find out that you, as a woman, are especially susceptible to troubles caused by harsh, non-absorbent toilet tissue. Yeah, that woman is laying there sick in bed because she chose the wrong toilet paper. This is an ad by Scott's Tissues. And the underlying point here is supposed to be that using a lesser brand of toilet paper might lead you to develop some kind of unspecified rectal trouble. And what's really funny is that this isn't even a standalone ad. Scott's actually ran an entire campaign on the back of this message. Like, check these out. This poor woman is just one of 10 million who are suffering from troubles caused or aggravated by harsh toilet tissue. And here, we have a couple of real respectable looking doctors discussing the dangers of toilet tissue illness. And lastly, this is probably the strangest one out of the whole batch. We got a doctor reaching for some medical instruments with the caption, "Often the only relief from toilet tissue illness." So you better pick the right brand of toilet paper or you're gonna need surgery. All right, let's move on to another classic example of headline trickery. This article promises information on a serious accident. But then if you keep reading, what it actually says is, a distinguished guest was being shown about our city in a new automobile when suddenly the motor stopped. After making a thorough examination, they discovered that they were out of gasoline. This embarrassment could have been avoided if you would always think of Mr. Toko and stop at his new filling station. So this is just blatantly pretending to be a legitimate article on a severe accident when in reality it's just an ad for a gas station. This next one is just so ridiculously dishonest that it's hard to even believe. This is a passage from an article from 1925 about Harry Houdini, the famous magician from the early 20th century. The article is all about how Houdini has started teaching classes at the New York Police Department on how to expose people who are pretending to be mystics and spiritualists and mediums. And the entire point of the classes is basically supposed to be to warn the police against allowing the supernatural to influence their investigations. Like, Houdini tells his students that absolutely nobody on Earth has superhuman powers and that they, as police officers, should remain grounded in reality and avoid the influence of fake magic and trickery and ghost stories. And so, what was the headline that the newspaper chose to represent this story? A school to teach police how to fight ghosts, complete with a drawing of a cop trying to battle a ghost with a nightstick. Just completely the opposite of what Houdini's class was actually about. Like, this headline and drawing combo could not be a worse representation of the actual content of the article. Okay, so up until this point, we've mostly been talking about clickbait that's extreme or misleading in order to grab your attention, right? But that is far from the only genre of clickbait. Another very common type is the sort of mystery clickbait. You know, when people are like, you won't believe what I found in this cabinet, or the video they didn't want me to make, or famous actor said what about who, like that kind of thing, right? Well, it probably won't surprise you that that isn't really anything new either. Like, check this out. Here is an issue of Liberty magazine from November of 1950. And just look at that first tagline. The article we were afraid to print. That is some grade A clickbait right there. The actual article is about how during the first few months of the Korean War, a lot of consumers engaged in panic buying goods, and a lot of businesses raised their prices trying to make a quick buck. The author of the article thought that that was real un-American and unbecoming of a country that's going through its first big test as leaders of the world. And so they wrote this story to try and communicate their point of view. And according to a little disclaimer at the top of the page, the reason the magazine was afraid to print the article was because no editor in his right mind willingly attacks his readers, which of course is just a half-hearted and weak attempt to justify slapping such a heavy-handed and sensationalist tagline on a mostly benign article. Next up is one that I've actually mentioned before in a previous video, but it just fits the theme so well that I had to bring it up again here. Check out this advertisement that a store named Gamble's ran in newspapers back in 1960. We're having a 100th anniversary sale, it says. Which, if you're just flipping through the newspaper, that's going to sound like a pretty big deal, right? But then, if you keep reading, you'll learn that it's actually only the 35th anniversary of Gamble's. It's just that they're not sure if the store is going to be around for their 100th anniversary, so they might as well just go ahead and have their 100th anniversary sale right now instead. Buy our pool and you get a free blonde wig, of course. Here's another one that I found in a magazine. World War II magazine from September of 1988 features a full-page ad that says, "Strange advice from the authors. Burn this book." The book in question is titled "What to Do When the Russians Come," a survivor's guide. And the point of the book is to teach you what to do if the peaceniks get their way and Russia ever does take over. The advertisement never explicitly says why you should burn the book, but I guess the implication is supposed to be that you better get rid of the book now, because if the Soviets ever actually do take over and they catch you with that survivor's guide, then you're going to be in deep trouble. Oh no, watch out, there's a grave robber in town. And that grave robber is Dr. Bigelow, whose positive cure robs thousands of graves by saving the lives of sick people before they even get the chance to die. All right, I don't know if this next one exactly qualifies as clickbait, but it's just such a funny ad that I want to include it anyway. In 1910, a newspaper from Pittsburgh printed an ad that reads, "Fine furs and handsome suits go hand in hand at Bennett's." And this is the accompanying picture for that ad. Just look at that, they're going hand in hand. Postmaster robbed of all comfort because he dealt with liver disease for 20 years. But now he's taken electric bitters and everything's just fine. All right, so this next one is just so mind-boggling that I really don't even know how to introduce it. Like, just look at this. So during the height of the Vietnam War, a New York company called Satori started selling captured Viet Cong sandals. The implication obviously being that these were sandals taken from real Vietnamese people who were captured during the war. But if you actually read through the advertisement, you'll learn that it's just the design of the enemy's sandals that was captured by the company's style scouts. A badly burned girl is quickly out of pain if Buckland's arnica salve is applied promptly. Next up, in 1950, a little boy from Newark, New Jersey was rushed to the hospital because he swallowed 2 little heart ornaments that had fallen off his sister's bracelet. And the headline that the newspaper ran for the story was, "Boy had 3 hearts." All right, everybody, the fun's over. I have a very serious question for you. Is your washroom breeding Bolsheviks? This is another one from good old Scott's Tissue, the same company that brought us the toilet tissue illness from earlier. The pitch for this ridiculous ad is that a poorly equipped washroom will inevitably lead to resentment from your employees, and before long, you'll have a whole office of communists on your hands. Okay, I'm feeling like it's just about time to wrap up this video, so how about we close out with probably the most transparently deceptive headline that I have ever seen. Just look at this. 1,000 cats wanted, okay? The Erie Clothing Company do not want cats, but want you to see their mammoth stock of fine clothing. So just completely lying about wanting 1,000 cats and nakedly admitting that they're just making up a ridiculous and provocative headline to grab your attention so you'll come and read about their clothes. Like, it truly does not get any more clickbait than that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.